put it in, um,
Oh, you could put it in yours too. You know how to do that, right?
how do you do that? And
So go to settings. I think you go to settings.
recording settings. Okay,
And
settings. Now I get it.
you see where it says that you could add?
Hmm. Mirror camera reaching spaces. What is that? Hmm. No, I don't have anything here in settings.
Oh, I think we have to do it from the studio. You know, when you come into the studio?
Yeah, let me
That
go back outside. Let me go back outside, okay?
ah, okay, in the meantime, I'll just be humming. Hi, everybody. My name is Angelica Corral, and we have a little bit of technical issues with my buddy, but she's getting everything together. But in the meantime, I just want to thank everybody who's here that was able to make it. This should be a really interesting conversation. Georgina has a very interesting story about her. She came from Mexico as a child. She immigrated and moved to Chicago. When she moved to Chicago, she was studying to be an engineer. And she was already married with children. And what happened is one of her children got sick. And as one of her children got sick, uh, he was taken to the hospital and they were giving her son chemo because he had an immuno disease, and it was one that not very many people know about. So what happened was the doctors were unable to cure him, and she was taking her son for years and years to the hospital. And what happened is she realized that in order to cure him, she's going to have to quit her career as an engineer and just find a way to cure her child. And here she is. Maybe she could tell us more about that.
Hi, Chiquis. How are you?
All right.
We'll
I
do
was talking
nothing.
a little bit about how you were in Mexico, you immigrated, and you were studying to be an engineer, and then how your son got sick, and then you
Switch
decided,
gears.
yeah, so you decided to change your career because you had to take care of your son, just like a good mama does. So you want to finish the story?
Yeah, well, yeah, my son got an autoimmune disorder, a rare autoimmune disorder back on the days, and is no cure or anything. They wanted to keep him in chemotherapy.
Mm,
He was in chemotherapy for 8.5 years until I took him out of there because I know the side effects of chemotherapy long term, and that's something that you don't want to see with your kids. That that you keeping it alive, but then later you having a lot of other issues with the side effects of the medication.
mhm,
And then moving, that was like what? He's 27, probably like 19 years ago.
mhm.
I stopped chemotherapy with him, and then he never had to look back, and he's very much normal nowadays.
Wow.
Hmm.
And I have to commend you for taking the time to do that as a parent, believing so much that you could find a cure for your son and uh, quitting what you had to do so that you could keep him alive. What a loving mom. And I see that Bethlehem is here. Bethlehem Sumarium.
Hi, how are you?
Bethlehem. I'm so glad that you made it. So we are talking about health, and if you want to come and join us, I'm going to put the in the comments. I'm going to put the information so that anybody could come up to the stage because we can bring a few people up to stage to have questions. So that'd be kind of
Oh,
cool,
that's
right?
cool. Yeah, that's very good.
So let's see if
Mhm.
Bethlehem has any questions. We would love to have you join
Hi.
us up on the stage. Let me
Oh,
bring.
it's more people. From Instagram.
Oh, okay. Also, did you invite some people from Instagram?
Mm.
No? Okay.
Oh no, they're from LinkedIn. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. I got confused at just.
Hmm.
Okay, so there we go. So, we got Jatika Shetty here as well. Good to see you. Hearts to
Hmm.
all of you who were able to join us.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So I see that Bikash had some questions, and MD Masood, he says, love this perspective. I'm committing to 10 minutes of mindfulness this week. What's your favorite way to stay consistent with these habits? My favorite way.
Well,
Go ahead, you say, Georgina.
okay. Well, if you want to stay consistent, you just have to keep doing it. That's all what you have to do. And it's hard because the worst person that you have to deal with is yourself.
Mhm,
Because you know what I
mhm.
mean, it's nobody else besides us what we have to do, and still we do the wrong thing. And I'm guilty of that sometimes. I go out of the wagon too, saying like anybody else. Hmm.
Yeah, I just saw a video today where a guy mentioned that when you eat sugar, it goes straight to your bone marrow, and then it prohibits it kills your white blood cells.
Well, sugar is one of those things that they're very. It has a lot of negative side effects, and it does go to the DNA. It changed your DNA. Not the DNA. The RNA. I don't know. I have to explain to you how it works. Okay. A lot of people confuse DNA and RNA. Okay, RNA is a copy of the DNA. So the
Mhm,
only places where they have the changes is in the RNA. The DNA is you, make you unique. You stay in there forever.
mhm,
So when you have like sugar in this case that we're talking about, what it changed is the RNA.
mhm,
So it does you know the genetics, the copy of the genetics. So it can give you so many negative side effects or positive side effects if you do something good too. And this is why so many people when they talking about genetics, like for instance, nowadays I hear that everybody's sick because they have bad genetics.
mhm, mhm,
And this is something that's not true. They don't know about genetics. And a lot of doctors they are guilty of this because they don't even understand genetics. What happened when you is your genetics, the DNA, right? So
mhm,
DNA is never changed. And 90%, 98% of us, we have perfect DNA. So meaning that none of us we are sick from genetics for real. Meaning the RNA are the lifestyle, the nutrition, and everything else, that's where it makes changes and the RNA. So if the RNA changes for the bad, it can change it for good. So when it comes to doing good lifestyle choices, good nutrition, good everything, it changes for better. Yes, the same that if you take like sugar, you take a bunch of things in your body that you don't supposed to have them,
mhm.
it goes for worse as well. So it can go either way. But yes, sugar is one of those things that they can go really bad. Even wrinkles can be linked to sugar. I mean, if
Oh
you
my
ate
goodness.
earlier, yeah, if
If
you ate
I would have
earlier.
known that, I wouldn't have eaten all that candy.
Yeah, but the thing is here, you see, a lot of people they don't understand the perspective of what we do and what we do.
Yes.
Like if you think about it, sugar is one of those things that we used to do it in good times. So sometimes mentally you
Mhm,
relate to sugar to something good.
mhm,
So in hypnosis, they tell you you are what you know, not what you don't know.
mhm,
So meaning that you do things because you relate it with something to do with yourself. Like for instance, talking about sugar. When you go to school and you
mhm,
do something good, you behave really good in school. What do they
mhm.
do? A popsicle. And then in your birthday, they do cakes, they do soda pop.
Yeah.
So when we get older, you think about it, hey, sugar is your comfort. It's not just the fix for because sugar, it tastes really good too. It's
Mhm.
also the comfort food because
Yes,
mentally you relate it with something good, so it make you feel good when you're eating sugar as well. And so sugar is one of those addictions that they're very hard to break.
it is an addiction. A lot of people don't realize that it's a drug. I must
It's
say,
like a drug.
and
Actually,
you,
they say it's more than coke, heroin, and everything else because, like I say, but you have to understand where it comes from, that addiction. First of all, it tastes really good. It make you feel good when you're taking it, but also too the relationship that you have with sugar. When did you start taking it, using it when you were a kid? Is when you have good times,
yeah,
and that's the other thing that's very difficult to break. Mhm.
that's a good point. Well, we have a few more people that have come into the room, and let me say hello to them. I know that Bethlehem, she cooks very healthy. So because we're supposed to do a room together in regards to her cooking, so I'm excited about that. But I see it also, Kelly Price. She's a woman, a rebel chef, Nutitude Food Attitudes Mood. And she says, at what stage did you start an illumination diet? I
What
don't
is
know.
that?
I don't know what an illumination diet, but I'll tell you that since I've been eating healthy, my brain has been more illuminated because
Well,
I
actually, when you eat good
feel
food, you
better.
get more energy.
Yeah, you get more energy. You're not walking around in a brain fog.
Mhm.
So if that's what you mean, Kelly, and if you want to join us, I put in the comments the link to come into the room, and I could bring you up and we could have a conversation. Anybody who'd like to come and join us, I would love to hear what you have to say. I see that Abutu Isaac, he says, I love this perspective. And he says, take a little time to view my profile. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell for updates. Okay, Abutu, I'll do that. Whatever you say. Tom Cullen. So Tom Cullen is a good friend, and he also has a business, and he has his own ranch where and farm where he has his food, and he's from Canada.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
yeah, so why don't you come up to stage, Tom? We'd
That
love to
would
hear
be
what
kind
you
of,
have to say.
yeah, because actually, one thing, one of the stuff that I always tell people,
Hmm.
everything is started
Hmm.
from the farming. If you have a good farming techniques and good farming culture, you can say that too.
Hmm.
That's where it start all of it. And now the kitchen part of it is the other one.
Hmm.
We, that one of the things that a lot of in college they used to tell me a lot, that one of the that we have in United States is obesity, right? In Mexico, Canada is another one.
Hmm.
Obesity is getting skyrocketed when we start going to the fast food restaurants a lot.
Yes.
The relationship. So maybe one of the things that they can take out of the whole thing, maybe we can eat from good farms, and also we can cook, and that's it. We can get a lot of things done right there and then. But it would
Don't
be
you?
kind of cool to hear from Tom.
Yes, it would be great. Yeah, we McDonald's might get mad at us though if they hear that. But anyways,
Hey, we don't want to talk about them.
I'm joking. So I see Kenneth. He says, "Savor the flavor of the awesomeness in you, peeps, for joining us today." Thank you, Kenneth.
Yes,
Kenny. He's a homie, and I'm glad
yes.
that you're here.
Oh,
Come
the
up to the stage,
elimination
Kenny.
diet. Oh, the elimination diet. Okay.
Okay, hold on.
Elimin-
Let me just say hi to a few more people before you
All
you
right,
come.
just keep saying, and we can talk about the elimination diet. I
Yes.
know what
Yes.
she's talking about. The illumination, no.
Okay, I see Tom Cullen. He says savor the flavor. And Kenneth says, Chris says hello. Kenneth says sugar is so delectable, scrumptiously, deliciously tasty good. It's so tasty good. You're right about that.
It is true.
And Chris Pinadella says, savor the flavor of the awesomeness in you for joining us today. You finally showed up, homeboy. And Kelly says, oh, she'd love to come up to stage, but she's coughing. It says
Okay.
elimination diet is in eliminating dairy, sugar, refined flours.
Mhm.
And Chris says high
It can go a
fructose.
little bit more than that. The elimination diet can go a little bit more than that.
Mhm. Chris says high fructose corn syrup totally messed us up from an evolutionary biology standpoint. Tons of calories doesn't make you feel full. So I want you to talk a little bit about you first because you studied all of this for years. Can you talk a little bit about your background? Because I didn't really get a chance to introduce you. I just threw you into the mix, Georgina. So Georgina,
So,
she was going to be an engineer. To save her son's life, she decided to become a holistic doctor, right, Georgina?
alternative physician.
What did you call it?
Alternative medicine physician.
An
I with
alternative
a background in
medicine.
naturopathic medicine, oriental medicine, hypnotherapy.
Mhm.
I mean, all of that. I started it at the same time to save my son only. That was the only purpose of me going back to school. Hmm.
Okay.
But one
So,
of the things that got me a little curious when Chris mentioned it, high fructose corn syrup, and we go back again to the son situation, okay? High fructose corn syrup, I don't know if you know how they make it. And I wanted to tell you that they make it like this. They put the corn into a container that it has traces of mercury to take out the honey that comes out of the corn. And that's how they make high fructose corn syrup. So most of the high fructose corn syrup has something that's called the mercury, and that's exactly why my son got that bad. Unfortunately, myself, when I was about 18 years old, I have amalgams. I don't know you guys know what it is. It's those,
amalgams in the teeth.
yeah, the ones that the black fillings that they have because you have rotten teeth. That you go to a good doctor that has license and they have all the stuff, and actually, you go there and they put you these things, but half of those things they have pure mercury. So I ended up having mercury poisoning myself. So when my son got here, when he turned 1 year old, exactly at 1 year old, I give him the thing, and that particular shot, it has mercury in it, traces of mercury. So for him, it was like way too much, and he developed an autoimmune disorder, a rare autoimmune disorder. And from there, it went everything downhill because he got really, really sick. He ended up in the hospital. Um, for 8.5 years, he was in chemotherapy. I don't know if you guys have any relatives or anybody close to you guys that they've been in chemotherapy. Is awful. Is one of the worst things that they can have. Besides the fear that you have that you may be going to lose your kid next day or you never know when. Then on top of it, the side effects. I know the side effects of chemotherapy right away. About 2 weeks after that we start chemotherapy, my son got the thrush. The thrush is like fungi everywhere, so he has blisters everywhere in the mouth, from the lips
How
to
old was
the.
he?
Pardon me?
How old was he when that happened?
A year old, 1 year old, exactly 1 year old.
Oh.
And he got the vaccine today, and 3 days later, he got all these symptoms. And the day that he got the vaccine, he got a checkup, and they said that he was healthy.
Mhm.
He was a pediatrician to say he was healthy. 3 days later, he was having a rare autoimmune disorder. It's not like you don't go into checkups. It's nothing like that. It's just the thing is our environment. And one of the things that he was mentioning, high fructose corn syrup, is one of those things that they have mercury traces as well. And it's a lot of ways that you can get mercury. I didn't even know, like the amalgams, and but a lot of them they have that. A lot of them they have that. Well, sometimes the light bulbs. Some of the light bulbs they have that. I mean, your body cannot tolerate that
Some of
much.
the
And
light bulbs have it. Let me turn this light on. No,
no, seriously,
I
light bulbs
believe
they
you. I
have that.
believe you.
And
Interesting.
it's a lot of other places like high fructose corn syrup that we don't even think about. And I mean, there's so many different weird places that
Mhm.
you don't understand. And now, I tell you I have a mercury poisoning, right? And one of the things I've been leaching out the mercury poisoning. I'm sorry. I've been leaching out the mercury poisoning because um, I'm sorry, I'm gonna turn off this thing because I don't want to sound again. Well, actually, I've been leaching now, and I can tell you the difference from then to now. One of the things that you feel when you have mercury poisoning is that you have cold limbs. Even in the summer, I used to shake people's hands, and I used to have really cold hands. And they some people used to say, "Oh, cold hands and warm heart, right?" And I say, "Yeah." I never knew why I was having that kind of stuff. My son also have that issue, and the rest of it they don't. So it's very common that a lot of stuff that we get in the everyday thing, a lot of medical toxicities, they have mercury in it. So you guys got to be careful with what we put it on. Long-term side effects that can happen too.
So I see that we got a few more messages here.
Yeah.
Kenneth asks, Tom says he came in to listen for a bit. He's working in the background. Chris says, Kenneth says to Chris, you are mute to me as well because they haven't said anything to Kenny. And Tom says, hello back to you, my friend. The other one hasn't said anything to me yet. And he says, so Kanye, that's Kenny's, the other Kenny that comes out when he's mad.
Oh, okay.
Or otherwise does not concern me. But
so Chris is busy right now in the Tom, right? Tom is busy.
Yeah, Tom is busy in the background, and Kenny says, Chris Pinadello, hello back to you, my friend. And Chris is laughing. He put a laughing face, Tom Cullen. Yeah. So no, and I know that you've talked a bit about helping people through cancer.
Yes.
Right? So did you want to talk a little bit about that? Because we have a little bit of time to talk about it.
Well, a lot of people, when they go to treatments of cancer, they therapy, radiation, and that's the only thing that they have, literally. And that's it, right? So I always tell people that it's worth it to try something else. And for instance, alternative medicine, many people, what they think about alternative medicine is that you go to a doctor, they give you a remedy, like take a tea, and that's it. But we go to school like anybody else, and we have lab tests, we do everything like anybody else. The only difference is that we use more natural approaches, like more natural things, like things that you can find sometimes in your house and sometimes you don't, all right? But when you have cancer in this case, you cannot use a remedy just like that and that's it. Magically, you're going to be cured, because that's not how it works. Now, cancer already have a lot of problems with the DNA expression, which does the RNA, not the DNA, okay? The DNA expression. So what you have to do really is go inside what is really going on with this particular person. We find out a lot of stuff like people having parasites when they're having cancer, having great levels of toxicity. What I was talking to you about mercury, it's not just mercury, sometimes a lot of other stuff, and they are like heavy metals, cadmium, lead, you name it. So many. Now, on top of it, we have to understand that cancer lives in a toxic environment. So if we target from that perspective, we have to detoxify, but not just like going to YouTube and go like, oh, well, I get in a detoxification. Like many people say, oh, I already detoxified. This doesn't work. The thing is, they don't know how to doing it for real, like with a professional. Is about 3 or 4 months. It's not like you just go in the weekend, take a few drinks, and that's it. That's not how it works. So when you have a cancer patient, you have to see what is really going on with that person. Like if it has parasites, sometimes they have toxicity, sometimes they have nutritional deficiencies, and it's to always implement something for stress, because the stress, it can aggravate everything a little bit more than what anything happened. Actually, stress is like the trigger or the
Mhm.
cause of most of the diseases. When they have something really major, like they have gone through so much stress, that's when a lot of people they start having problems with the serious chronic diseases. And that's good for cancer, diabetes. And show you this in school and you don't relate it, but after when you see real patients, they tell you the same thing. Oh, when my mom died, I few days later I felt bad and I went to, I went to the doctor and they told me they have diabetes. And that's very typical. That's very typical that chronic disease comes after extreme amount of stress. But it's not just the stress that's causing it. It's you already have a problem. It's
Mhm.
just that stress is the one that just, it's like you have a problem and it's like the flame, the fire, the stress is the fire. So it's
Mhm.
always, you always have to address the stress as well. Now,
Yeah.
this is very, very, very common thing to have in cancer patients. Is most of the times it's all of it, or at least three of those issues. You have to do it the right way because cancer patients they are not like you can do whatever you wanted to do. Sometimes they can eat properly.
Mhm.
You have to go ahead and do more caring, change things if they need to change, and you need to do it the right way because they can lose their life in a matter of days. Mm-hmm.
So mindset has a lot to do with it. And we have a message here from Chris who says heavy metal is only healthy in audio form when you listen to it. You're a
That's true.
joker. You're a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Atul
Mm-hmm.
TV says good morning, happy Monday, because he's in India. I think he
Oh, okay.
dive into the day with energy and determination. That's a good yes, we gotta have a good mental attitude.
Positive attitude.
You're right. And
When people having a health issue,
uh-huh.
also even cancer, okay, one of the crucial things to have, even every doctor can tell you, conventional medicine, alternative medicine, anybody going to
Mhm.
tell you that positive attitude make the difference between making it or not making it.
Yeah.
So positive attitude is great for anything. Mm-hmm.
And then you had a positive attitude with your son, right? Because I mean, after 8 years,
Eight and
you
a
were
half years.
8.5 years. So, wow. So what type of things did you do to help him?
Detoxification, that was one of the big things. And also too, I put him in like a regimens of mushrooms,
Mhm.
mushroom cocktail. That was
Mhm.
one of the big ones, one of the big things. But he also went through acupuncture. We did homeopathic remedies. We did everything by the book. Hmm.
Okay,
But
so
I
it's
think that what it makes the difference was the detoxification and the mushroom cocktail.
okay.
Hmm.
Wow. It's so good to hear that because a lot of people they think that that's their message that there's no hope when they hear that they have
Hmm.
something like that. But
I
it,
always tell people
mm,
that if you're still breathing, you're still alive, you have hope. I have my little dog that I don't know, most of the veterinarians, when they have a senior citizen dog, they don't pay attention to it,
mhm.
right? So my dog was 11 years old, which to me was young. So because I wanted to keep her for a long time, she died
Forever.
17 years old. Back when she was 11 years old, she got cancer as well. And I took her to the vet, and they would say, "Oh, well, she's old. I just can give her I just gonna take her from you, give her, I'm gonna amputate the tail because the tumor was in the tail. And say, I just
Mhm.
amputate the tail, and we'll see. We're gonna wait for a few years, maybe a year or less than a year. We're gonna have more tumors, and maybe she's gonna die." That's what he was saying to me, and I felt like it was very, like out of touch because
Mhm.
you love your dog like a part of your family. And then what I did, he took it away from me like it was nothing. So what I did, I took back my dog and I said, "Listen, I'm paying you because I want to save my dog. If I want to kill her, I leave her at home and that's it. I don't gonna bring it." So
Uh-huh.
then I went to a second vet, and the other vet, she was nice, But she
Mhm.
told me exactly the same thing. She has cancer. We need to amputate the tail. And but one of the problems that my dog had is because the liver enzymes, they were not that good. And
Mhm.
he said, but we cannot operate her because if we put it to the amputation right now, she's probably gonna die because she's not equipped right now for that. And I said, okay. Took her back home. We're
Mhm.
gonna wait. They give her something there. I don't know what they gave her. To be honest, I didn't ask. And I took her back home. And what
Mhm.
I did at home, I started feeding her different. I started giving her things. I started giving her chlorella, for instance. I give her a lot of chlorella. And
Mhm.
also I start putting in her tail baking soda, like in a paste.
Mhm.
And then like 3 days later, it start bursting. Like it smells so bad, that crap. So I start putting more baking soda because the smell was unbearable here in the house.
Mhm.
I have more pets, more dogs. Back then, I have 3 more dogs. Nobody
Uh-huh.
wanted to be around her. That
Uh-huh.
was so bad. It's like a rotting, like a somebody died inside that little tail, like
Oh.
that kind of smell.
Uh-huh.
So then 3 days later, what happened? That little tumor, it make like a little fine line around the tumor, like black line, like as
Uh-huh.
somebody draw around the tumor. And
Uh-huh.
then I keep putting more baking soda, and I keep giving it chlorella. I was feeding it as well, different. Okay. So, anyways,
Uh-huh.
then about the next day, the entire tumor got covered with black.
Mhm.
And then this following day, it bursted and it was a tumor halfway out, halfway inside. So what I did, I put a gloves, wash it, I clean it up, I keep putting more. It was actually 2 tumors in the same place.
Wow.
And I clean it up and I keep putting more baking soda. 3 days later, I saw
Mm.
it pink and it was coming out of the hair. When I went back 2 weeks later to the bed, I showed it to the bed and the bed was saying, what did you did? And I told her what I did. I said, okay, explain to me exactly how you do it, because a lot of people, they don't have money to pay for their pets and they
Uh-huh.
can't do this at home. And I said, but you know one thing, my dog, after 6 years later, she
Uh-huh.
still never got cancer again. Because
Wow.
one of the things that when you amputate and you just do that,
Mhm.
the odds that you have more tumors everywhere in the body that were very big. So that was like just a temporal fix, basically. With
Yes.
this fix I did, it lasts the rest of her life. So it's a lot of stuff that you have to consider when it's cancer. I mean, I don't telling you that just with baking soda and chlorella but I mean, changing the diet, it has a lot to do with your outcomes as well. Because I cut off all the pet food.
Uh-huh.
When I was doing that, I was cutting a lot of stuff. I do give filtered water to my pets, but I start putting more stuff in the water as well. I was
Mhm.
putting some minerals in the water and stuff. That way, my dog can have a good chance of survival. And actually, it did respond right away.
Yay.
Mhm. My dog, like I said, she just died like a year and a half ago, but it was 17 years old. So for a
Wow.
dog, it's good. Hmm.
Look at you. You're a good mama.
With a pet as well. So it was my pet dog. Hmm.
Uh-huh. Well,
But
I
I
know
can think,
pets, but you're like the mama to the pets. So we've got a few more
yeah.
messages.
But
Chris.
one of the things they have to tell you that
Uh-huh.
cancer is not a life sentence. And please do not settle with the idea that you just have to take chemotherapy and radiation, because it's more to it. And a lot of people, they can respond good. And I can tell you that it's not something that you just got to say, oh, well, I'm going to die. Because a lot of people, they just settle for that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Thank you
And
for
please,
saying that, my friend. Thank you for
mhm.
saying that, because I think you're right. A lot of people feel like that when they get that message, but you bring a message of hope, and I love it.
And going
Chris.
back to cancer and sugar,
Uh-huh.
sugar is one of the things that feeds cancer cells a lot, because it gives you fuel, it gives
Mm-hmm.
you energy. When it comes to sugar and fats, those are the two things that feed cancer. And actually, a lot of people, I have a friend today, she had breast cancer stage 3 when
Uh-huh.
she got diagnosed. And I give her a few stuff, and she got better. She's doing good. But the first thing they tell her, not to drink so much soda pop. She got really mad at me. She was like, "Oh my God, I already sick. Now you controlling me what to eat and stuff." But I mean, one of the things I can tell you is you at least stop taking any fat or sugar. I think
Mhm.
that's a very good thing. Hmm.
Mhm. Wow. That's good advice.
Hmm.
So I see,
Yeah.
Chris Pinadella says, "Love me some lion's mane," when we were talking
Oh,
about monkey.
lion's mane is good also for the brain. Hmm.
I need to OD on that. Kenneth Kenny says that he's always positive and rarely disturbing the peace,
Good.
unlike his good friend Kanye. And um, Kenny says to Chris, "I know exactly what you love, my friend." And Tom says, "Kenny, Chris loves all kinds of goodies like jams, syrups, and soft candy." Oh, that's because Tom has that on his farm. He has
Oh,
the
really?
uh-huh, and it's tasty. It's tasty. Uh,
Like I say, sugar is very addictive. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I never eat sugar because sometimes it's tempting, and I mean, and sometimes as much as you have so much willpower, you still fall into that. Though it's very
yeah,
easy to fall into that addiction.
yeah. It
Okay,
it
I'm
is.
calling.
I think what happens though is if you have a balance, you got to have a balance, right, in everything that you eat.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
So I'm excited about what we're going to speak about next week. So we touched on a few things. Today we were talking about 7 essential habits, and we were going to talk about four. So you want to talk about four? I know
Yeah, I can give you
one of
four.
them is stay away from sugar.
Well, stay away from sugar. That's number one. Number two, sleep.
Yes.
A lot of people they don't understand how important is sleep, and some people telling me I can sleep 3 hours and function. No, you need 7, 8 or 9 hours of sleep. Now, the quality of sleep matter. Yes, the
Hmm.
sleep also can help you for detoxification. If you have exposed, you are exposed to a lot of toxins, the sleep can help you to detoxify. So that's why a lot of people, when they want to lose weight, because nowadays we know that weight is not caused by eating too much food, it's caused by also toxins.
Hmm.
So you sleep well. I don't know, you ever heard that people lose weight when they sleep well.
Hmm.
So that's probably the answer why they sleeping well and they get in detoxification. Okay. Now the other thing too, they gotta tell you is drink plenty water. As much as everybody don't understand the importance of water.
Hmm. Hmm.
And how do you know what is plenty water for you? Very simple. Your body weight in pounds. I don't know how much is in kilos, okay? I just know it in pounds. Your body weight in pounds divided by 2. For instance, myself, I'm 120
Hmm.
pounds. Divided by 2 is 60 ounces. 60 ounces of water I have to be drinking every day. Now, to give a little kick.
Uh-oh. We lost you. We lost you, Georgina. Something's going on with the Wi-Fi over there. You frozen. You could come back, come out and come back in again, my friend, because I can't hear anything that you're saying. If you're saying anything. Let me see. Let me see if she'll come back in. Let's see if she comes back in. Well, I see that we have a few messages though. It looks like you guys are having a conversation to yourselves. And that's okay. I love it. I'm so glad that you guys came. And everybody came today. And we're gonna have some more podcasts with my friend Georgina because she's very knowledgeable about how to stay healthy and what things you could do to help you when you have cancer. Along, and I know that Kenny also, he's a lab technician, so he's got some of that knowledge as well. So let's see. I'm just gonna go with the here she's coming back.
I don't know what's going on. My internet, I think, was.
You froze, and so I said, "Okay, my goodness, she'll
Yeah.
come back in."
All
So
right. So
I'm glad you
I was
did.
talking about what.
Yes, you were talking about water. So far we got um, stay, limit your sugar, uh,
Uh-huh.
get your rest, and drink your water. And we got one more.
Well, clean your kitchen, but it's not means that you gotta clean it with like the normal things that like your kitchen is dirty. Now that we're talking about cooking, right? One of the things that's very important to do is change the cooking tools that we use to
Mm-hmm.
have the proper ones. Avoid plastic. Plastic is a big one. We are super, super bombarded with plastic. We have tons of plastic inside our body, right? That's one of the things that we have to avoid. You have plastic in your kitchen, throw it away, please. That's going to be the best for you. Now, avoid non-stick cookware. That's another one.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
can replace the plastic with glass. You can replace the non-stick cookware with stainless steel.
Mm-hmm.
And also clean it with green products like baking soda, vinegar, steam. That's a good options. So those are the stuff that we'll recommend it for now.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yay! Well, I had a great time with you, my friend, and
Thank you.
I'm sure everybody else did too.
Thank you. But
And
mhm.
I'm like Chris. I need to get more sleep. Honestly, my circadian rhythm has been off, and I need to get back on track with that. So I think what
You're
I'm gonna
talking about the circadian rhythm. One of the things that you can help you with the circadian rhythm is 20 minutes sun baths.
20 minutes. What?
Sun baths. Go to the
Oh,
sun and
sun
get
bath.
some sun. Hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, because remember, the circadian rhythm is the light and the dark. That's
Hmm.
rule. That's how
Mm-hmm.
it rules. I mean, your body doesn't. Oh, you have to watch, and it's like 20 minutes
Mm-hmm.
to 8. 20 minutes to 9. No, it's the light and the dark. So that's
Mm-hmm.
how it goes. So you have problems with the circadian rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
20 minutes, some baths during the day. It's gonna help you to go to sleep well.
Normalize it by going out to the light during the
Yep.
day. That'd be
Actually,
cool.
Joe Dispenza, when he talks about that you have a full potential,
Mm-hmm.
he talks about that to go the 20 minutes sunbath to for the circadian the rhythm too.
Rhythm.
So it's like like it has more deep roots into everything. But you see, if you think about it, you sleep well, you have very good sharp brain,
Yes.
and then so that's like a snowball effect, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to be successful, I guess you got to sleep well. So sleep. When you say, I want to be successful, okay, go to sleep.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Well,
Yep.
I always have a good time talking with you, my friend, and
Thank you.
looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, we have to go ahead and ask people to give us questions as well.
Okay, yeah. So what I could do is if anybody has some questions, you could put it in the comments, and if we can't answer today, what we can do is we can answer them for next week,
Yep.
and then we
Mm-hmm.
can continue on.
Right.
All
All right.
right. So I think with that we're gonna end, and we're very happy that you all came today, Chris, Kenny, Tom. Also, we had Bettelhem. Let me get the right name. Bettelhem and Jatika, Kelly Price, and Butu. It was nice to have all of you, and there's probably more on LinkedIn that I was unable to see. So if if there were some that were on LinkedIn, please make sure you add some comments or some questions for next week,
Mm-hmm.
because we Georgina's very knowledgeable about
All
alternative.
right.
And love you
Thank
guys.
you. Bye bye. Thank you. Bye bye.
Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.